Well, we got to do another Mario Lanza song. I love his music. I love his recordings, and in fact, there was a movie that was going to be made of his life about 10, 12 years ago when I was signed with Disney. Nothing ever happened with it, but I auditioned for the part and everything, but then they ended up not making the movie, which is a mega bummer, because that could have been really cool. Maybe one of these days it will still happen, but what a fascinating and also tragic life that he lived. But boy, did he sing with so much passion and heart and emotion. And this next song is one of the favorite songs of mine that he would sing. This is Be My Love.
Be my love, for no one else can end this yearning, this need that you and you alone create. Just fill my arms the way you filled my dreams, the dreams that you inspire with every sweet desire. Be my love, and with your kisses set me burning. One kiss is all I need to seal my fate. Then hand in hand we'll find love's promised land. There'll be no one but you for me eternally. If you will be my
Ladies and gentlemen, Seamus on piano.
Hand in hand, we'll find love's promised land. There'll be no one but you for me eternally. If you will be my
You know, love songs just make the world go round as far as I'm concerned. I've always been a hopeless romantic, and I just love all the good love songs, including the cheesy love songs in Italian. Well, I think I told this story at the William Joseph event to introduce one of the Italian songs. I can't remember if I did, but I know that all of you were not there, so I'm going to share it again. So those of you that have heard it, bear with me. All right. So, we were living in Nashville for about 8 years, and we would drive down to Sweet Home, Alabama to visit my wife's family quite a bit. And one of these visits, there was this sweet Southern lady that was cleaning my mother-in-law's house. She heard that I was a singer. She said, "Hey, I heard you're a singer. Will you sing for me?" And I said, "Sure." It kind of caught me off guard. I said, "Sure, but just so you know, I don't sing country. Is that okay?" And she looked confused and she walked away. So I assumed that she had lost all interest, and so I continued packing up the car because we were returning home that day. I said, "All right, everyone, we'll see you next time. It's been fun." She said, "Wait, I thought you were going to sing for me." I said, "Okay." And so I said, "Well, you know, I sing kind of in a more classical style. A lot of times I sing in Italian. Here's an Italian love song." I started singing, and I get to a high note, and she looked a little uncomfortable. And then I got to the very high note at the end, and I finished. And was expecting, you know, like a, "All right, cool, or something like that. And instead it was just dead awkward silence for about 5 seconds. And then, by the way, she's been smoking since the age of 2. And now we actually live in Alabama, just 3 doors down from my mother-in-law, and every week and a half I see her and she's out there smoking her pack of cigarettes in between 5 minutes of mopping the floor, etc. Well, anyhow, there was 5 seconds of awkward silence, and she said, "You reckon you can sing that in American?" And so that's what I think about every time I sing in Italian. But anyhow, so this is an Italian love song. It was actually written as a tribute to the great tenor Caruso, who was one of the greatest tenors that ever lived. And this song was written by Lucio Dalla, an incredible Italian pop artist. And it was written in such a way to make it, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful love songs ever written. So you have 3 verses and 3 choruses. During the verses, the story is being told of Caruso. And during the choruses, it actually switches to first person, where it's actually Caruso who is pouring out his heart and soul to the woman that he loves, singing, "Te voglio bene assai." And so the song starts off, and the story is told of an older Caruso. He is embracing the woman that he loves, and they're watching the sun set over the ocean off the coast of Italy. And he's filled with emotion, and he professes his love to her. The second verse, he's looking out at the ocean, and he experiences all these flashbacks. And he thinks back to times in his career when he would be performing in different operas, and he would be far from her. And there he was singing all of these powerful love songs that only had meaning because of her. And these love songs would cause a pain in his heart because of how he missed her. And then the chorus returns and he sings his love. Then the third verse comes along, and we see him having these realizations, this epiphany. He thinks of all the fame and fortune that he's experienced throughout his career. And then he thinks of this simple yet unbending love that he shares for this person. And he realizes that that has eclipsed all the fame and all the fortune and all the success that he's had. It's such a beautiful love song, and it has a lot of meaning for me, because my wife and I, we have 3 little kiddos, and for the past 17 years I've been in the music industry. And I started out in the music industry single, and I was focused completely on my career, and that changed over time as Katie and I met and got to know each other better. And then I still remember, and I shared this story last night, but it's just something that I still remember the feeling that I had when it was actually just a few weeks after our oldest was born. And I had just returned from a tour in the States, and God was able to go home for Thanksgiving, but then I had to go and fly over to the UK to perform some shows there, and I also hopped over to Ireland as well. And so you gotta realize that my dream, for as long as I can remember, has been to do what Andrea Bocelli and Josh Groban have done, to be able to sing in the most beautiful venues with the most incredible musicians and connect with people through the power of music. And so there I was living my dream to a T. My prayers were being answered, my dreams were being fulfilled, and yet all I wanted was to be able to return home and be with my wife and our little baby. And since that time, there's kind of been a paradigm shift within me. Not that I don't continue to dream to perform and connect with people, amazing people like you. I still have these dreams, and I'm so grateful for how blessed I am to be able to do this. But at the same time, I feel like, I guess you'd say, the Lord has kind of opened my eyes to help me realize how integral of a role that the family plays in overall fulfillment and completion and happiness. And so, even to this day, as I travel for shows, it's amazing to me to think how 16, 17 years ago, I didn't even know my wife existed. We hadn't met yet. And our kids, obviously, we didn't know them. They were floating in heaven somewhere. But it's so amazing to me to see how now they're my entire world, my entire universe. They define who I am. The deepest parts of my soul are defined by my relationships with them. And I think that's such a beautiful thing. And so these love songs that I'm able to sing, they used to connect with me just because I love good love songs, but now they have so much more meaning because I have a family that I can call my own, and because of the fulfillment that I found in my life because of them. And so I share that story with you so that you can better understand what I'm feeling and what I'm singing about up here as I sing this song in Italian called Caruso. I hope you enjoy it.
Qui dove il mare luccica e tira forte il vento, sulla vecchia terrazza davanti al golfo di Sorrento, un uomo abbraccia una ragazza dopo che aveva pianto, poi si schiarisce la voce e ricomincia il canto. Te voglio bene assai, ma tanto, tanto bene sai, è una catena ormai che scioglie il sangue di te bene sai. Vide la luce in mezzo al mare, pensò alle notti là in America, ma erano sole le lampade e la bianca scia d'un'eca. Sentì un dolore nella musica, si alzò dal piano forte, ma quando vide la luna uscire da una nuvola, gli sembrò più dolce anche la morte. Te voglio bene assai, ma tanto, tanto bene sai, è una catena ormai che scioglie il sangue di te bene sai. Potenza della lirica, dove ogni dramma è un falso, che con un po' di trucco e con la mimica puoi diventare un altro, ma due occhi che ti guardano così vicini